Something's gone wrong. You've had a financial accident and you no longer are where you thought you'd be. Want to get back on track? Find out how from financial advisor and author Daren Colman. Daren, welcome to The Wealthy Life.
Hi, Sybil. Thanks for having me.
Tell me how you got into the financial business. What is it that you find the most rewarding?
Well, believe it or not, I've done this for 28 years. I did it coming right out of school, and I have a business background. And instead of going and becoming an accountant or, working in a marketing department, we had a friend of the family who was a financial advisor, and the ability to go and help people meet their most important goals was very attractive to me. Both of my parents were elementary school teachers, so most of their retirement was taken care of with their pensions. But I still wanted to figure out, how do I help people achieve their most important goals if they maybe don't have that kind of security for them?
Well, that's great. And it's fun helping people achieve their goals. But there's also a lot of accidents that happen along the way. What are some of the common accidents you see?
Yeah, so I'll give you three that we tend to encounter quite a bit. The first one I'll say is a flat tire, which could be a market correction. Markets are volatile. They go up and down, just like the temperature or the air in your tires. So if you get one of those, the trick is just put some more air in and keep on your journey.
Now that Another just sounds so simple, Daren. I mean, and you're absolutely right on that. In other words, just ride it through.
Yeah, most people are probably surprised that this is a bit easier than they thought it was. So that's why I wrote the book, which was designed to take something complicated that all of us know how to do, which is drive, and get people to realize that a lot of the things we know how to do from operating a motor vehicle also apply to how to manage our finances. So things like a flat tire is a good metaphor for people to understand this is how you handle a market correction. Also, another one is a fender bender. Like somebody hits your car. I don't want to get into the who hit who, who's blame or shame game, but that analogy is similar to what happens if your company closes or you've lost your job. Well, let's go find another one. Let's assess the damage, figure out how to repair it, and get back on our way.
Yes, and before you get into the third one, I want to pause on the fender bender for a minute. Because you think about it, in real life, if you do have a fender bender, immediately you go into a little bit of shock. And you just kind of, oh my gosh, you freeze, you don't know what to do, you feel a bit sick to your stomach, your emotions are out of whack, but then you regroup. You take notes, you call the tow truck, you maybe bring the police in if needed, you file an insurance claim, and you move on.
Yeah, Sybil, you're exactly right. And I think any of us that have had a fender bender when we were learning to drive, the first time you bump into something, you're just crushed. You don't know what to do. You're in a panic. But after you've had some experience, you realize that these things happen. As long as nobody's hurt, we'll just call the insurance company, go through the process. And investing and handling money is very similar. The more experience you have, the more you realize that we need to dial our emotions out of it and just focus on actually solving the problem and moving forward again.
Yeah, and you know what else? With the fender bender, everyone's got car insurance, so you know you're going to be covered. However, not everybody plans ahead for losing a job and losing their income. Right. What are some of the things they need to do to prepare for that scenario?
Well, that's the thing. Sometimes you can't really prepare for these things in the specific, but I think there's some principles that we can all keep in mind. And the first thing is to remember that you're not a passenger in your own life. Like, you do have more control than you probably think. So if you do wind up having one of these financial accidents, the number one piece of advice I give people is grab the wheel. Let's look for how we can take control back. Don't just throw your hands up and go, oh no, I'm going to hit the tree. Let's remember that we probably have more control over what's going on than maybe we're giving ourselves credit for. So I think that's a very empowering message for people.
It is, and people need to seize that power, and they need to take responsibility and accountability for the situation they're in. So you mentioned a third financial accident.
Yeah, and this one, unfortunately, is way too common, which is people just run out of gas. They just didn't save enough money.
Right.
So this is where actually having some measurements and understanding how much do I need to fill up, how often do I need to put gas in, and where are the gas stations along the way? Where can I find more money, or more money might come to me as I think through my journey? Don't just jump in the car and drive. Let's actually be thoughtful about how much do I need to save to make sure that there's enough there. And that's where checking in with your financial advisor or just learning to do some math yourself can really be helpful.
Oh, absolutely. And nobody thinks twice about making sure they have gas in the car before they set out on a trip. But people don't put that same thought when planning for their future financially, typically. So it's just a mind shift, and it's an easy thing to change. Just do it.
Right.
So,
and then the other piece, so the other piece of advice I give people if something does go wrong is the first one is grab the wheel. The second thing is we need to steer into the skid. So if you ever took your driving lessons, remember that the car starts to spin, steer into it. And the reason that is important is we have to fix the most urgent things first. Like we don't change the radio station while we're having an accident. We want to figure out what's causing the problem and what do I need to fix first. So if I've lost my job, for example, okay, what's the damage? What benefits can I collect? How do I go about finding a new job? Let's fix that. I may need to update my will, but that can probably wait until I fix this problem.
Daren, thank you.